Zana is a single mother driving her son Benji to her ex-husband's parents' forest cabin. But on the way, their car is attacked by a mutant deer that has declared war on humanity after hunters killed its mate, and it consumed radioactive waste. Zana and Benji manage to reach the relatives, but the enraged deer is hot on their trail. One of the favorite sayings of aspiring screenwriters and directors is that if they had the resources of a Hollywood studio, they'd show everyone how it's done. And while this is usually just making excuses for a lack of budget, history knows more than a few cases of trash filmmakers who started with micro-budget projects and grew into blockbuster masters. Just think of Peter Jackson or James Gunn, who built an impressive career from trauma to Marvel. And right now, we're witnessing another such metamorphosis. It hasn't quite reached butterfly stage yet, but the inconspicuous worm has already turned into a chrysalis. We're talking about Rhys Frake Waterfield and Scott Chambers, English producers, screenwriters, and directors who have been making trashy horror films for a while, but hit the box office jackpot in 2023 with the micro-budget horror Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. The story isn't unique, but instead of blowing their sudden earnings on yachts and villas, Chambers and Frake Waterfield invested it back into their work, increasing the budget for the Winnie the Pooh sequel tenfold and achieving a noticeable leap in quality. Having confirmed their creative ambitions, Chambers and Frake Waterfield announced that their company, Jagged Edge, is launching the so-called Twisted Childhood universe, which will include horror films based on well-known fairy tales. The first of these was Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which again easily turned a profit at the box office. Bambi, The Reckoning is the franchise's next project, and it currently holds the highest audience rating on IMDb of all the films in this universe. Higher, in fact, than many horror films from world-renowned masters of the genre. To be fair, don't expect a miracle. Bambi is indeed not bad, but it's still a low-budget trash horror film. It's visually rather bland, and watching it requires you to accept a lot of contrivances and come to terms with the fact that the creators are meticulously pinching every penny. But the appeal of Chambers and Frake Waterfield's films isn't their spectacle, it's the tone they've found and prioritize in all their movies. First and foremost, they are always dark fairy tales for adults. Any irony present is strictly meta, and it's so subtle and transparent that you have to dig for it beneath a thick layer of deadly seriousness. Specifically, Bambi. The Reckoning impresses with how swiftly the authors kickstart the plot, how skillfully they build the drama around action and suspense, avoiding boring exposition scenes. And despite its brutality, the film still finds room for a message about how every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and Mother Nature will inevitably retaliate against those who recklessly exploit her. Yes, with Bambi, you still have to overlook a lot, but if they continue on this path in a couple more Twisted Childhood universe films, its creators won't need us to make any more allowances.